My dear friends, tonight I want to tell you something so simple, so profound, that it will change the entire course of your life if you will only accept it. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to beg. You do not need to labor with the weight of desire on your back, hoping the universe will one day hear you. The truth is this: relax and you will manifest anything you desire. This is not wishful thinking, not fantasy. It is the law of consciousness in action. And the great secret of the law is this: a relaxed mind is a creative mind. A relaxed spirit is the bridge between your present reality and the one you long for. When you release effort, when you let go of tension, when you rest in the knowing that it is already done, then and only then the unseen becomes seen. That which you seek reveals itself in the world of form. You see, most people do not manifest because they try too hard. They want too much. They desire from a place of lack. They live in a constant state of trying in, teed of being. But the law of assumption, which I have taught again and again, does not respond to effort. It responds to assumption. And assumption is effortless. You do not struggle to believe the floor beneath your feet is solid. You simply know it to be so. That knowing is the same relaxed faith you must apply to your desires. When you desire something, you must not approach it with desperation, anxiety, or fear. These emotions only reaffirm that you do not have it. They announce to the subconscious mind, I lack this. And the subconscious, being impersonal and obedient, reflects that lack back to you faithfully in your world. But when you relax deeply, fully, and joyfully, you signal to the subconscious, I already have it. And in due time, and by the shest of ways, it appears. Relaxation is the great gatekeeper of manifestation. It is not laziness. It is not passivity. It is the quiet confidence of one who knows the end is secure. It is the composure of the artist who already sees the man. Masterpiece in his mind's eye before his brush touches the canvas. You must become like that artist. You must learn to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as a wish, but as an accomplished fact. I tell you, imagination creates reality. But imagination cannot be fruitful in a mind that is crowded, anxious, and impatient. Imagination blooms in silence. It thrives in stillness. The great theater of the mind opens only when the curtains of fear and effort are drawn. That is why I urge you night after night to make relaxation your holy practice. Before you enter the state akin to sleep, you must quiet the outer senses. You must lie down and let the body rest. You must breathe deeply and surrender all striving. Only then does the inner world open, and only there does creation begin. Let me give you an example. A woman once came to me and said, Neville, I have tried every technique you've taught. I visualize. I affirm, I script, I do it all, but nothing is changing. And I said to him, tell me, how do you feel when you do these things? And she replied, I feel nervous. I feel desperate. I feel like I'm clinging to the hope that it will work. And I said to her, then stop. Stop everything and just rest. Go within. Enter the silence and imagine once, not with effort, but with joy, that your desire is already fulfilled. Then forget it. Leave it and live in the peace of knowing that it is done. She did exactly that. And within weeks her desire manifested with ease. Why? Because she stopped trying. She stopped forcing. She relaxed. And in that sacred relaxation, her imagination moved freely and precisely. You do not need to force the subconscious. You only need to impress it. And the greatest impressions are made not by pressure, but by feeling, by the deep feeling that something is already true. To feel that your wish is fulfilled while being anxious is impossible. The state of the wish fulfilled is a state of joy. It is a state of peace. When you feel it real, you are free. Not tense. You are not watching the clock. You are not refreshing your phone for signs. You are calm. You are serene. You are satisfied in the unseen. And that satisfaction is the proof that it is working. Many people confuse activity with effectiveness. They bombard their minds with constant affirmations, constant rituals, constant mental gymnastics. But manifestation is not about the volume of activity. It is about the quality of consciousness. One relaxed assumption is worth more than 1,000 panicked affirmations, because it is not the words you speak, but the state you dwell in that shapes your world. The Bible says, Be still and know that I am God. Stillness is the key. Stillness is power. In stillness, the inner voice becomes clear. In stillness, your imagination becomes vivid. In stillness, you commune with the divine. God is not found in noise. He is not found in struggle. He is found in the quiet confidence of a mind that knows its union with Source. To relax is to trust. 3. Saint and trust is the highest form of belief. When you truly believe something, you do not worry about it. You do not obsess over it. You do not check on it. Like a seed, you keep digging up to see if it is growing. No, you plant it and you rest. You let the soil do its work. You let time and nature take care of the unfolding. That is how manifestation works. Your imagination is the soil. Your assumption is the seed, and your relaxation is the sun and water that bring it to life. The more you relax, the more you allow. The more you allow, the faster it comes. The universe is not delayed by time. It is delayed by resistance. And resistance always comes from doubt, fear, and urgency. Eliminate these things through relaxation. Not through effort, but through letting go. Let go of how it will come. Let go of when it will come. Let go of needing to know. And in the space that remains, let the feeling of it already being yours grow and glow. I have seen miracles happen in lives when people simply, I was relaxed. A man once told me he had been unemployed for months. He did everything, applied to jobs, visualized, made vision boards, but nothing worked. I told him, "You are trying too hard. You are affirming your joblessness with every anxious thought." I instructed him to stop everything. Go to a quiet place and imagine receiving an offer letter just once, to feel the paper in his hand, to see his name on it, and then to drop it and go for a walk, to feel happy for no reason, to enjoy his day. He did. And 3 days later he was called back by a company that had once rejected him, this time with a higher offer. Why? Because his consciousness had shifted, his inner state aligned with the end, and the outer world had no choice but to reflect it. You do not need to beg the universe. You are not a servant. It is. You are the operant power. You command by assuming, and you assume most effectively when you are relaxed, because in that relaxation you embody the feeling that it is already done. Is why I always say live from the end, not towards it from it. Imagine you already have the house. How would you walk? How would you breathe? Would you rush? Would you stress? No, you would smile. You would rest. You would trust. That is the state you must cultivate. And the fastest way to cultivate it is by relaxation. Before sleep tonight, I want you to try this. Lie down and breathe. Let every part of your body loosen. Release the tensions of the day. And then imagine one scene, just one, a simple, vivid scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. Maybe it is a friend congratulating you. Maybe it is your name on a check. Maybe it is a wedding ring on your hand. Whatever it is, feel it. Not with force, not with fear, but with gratitude, with ease, with joy, and then sleep. Let the subconscious take over. Let it weave the unseen threads of your reality. You do not have to do more. You simply have to be more. Be more peaceful. Be more aligned. Be more certain. In your certainty, the world bends. In your peace, the mountains move. The subconscious does not understand anxiety. It understands feeling. And when you feel at peace, when you feel fulfilled, when you feel the joy of having, it must become true. So I urge you, my friends, do not seek your desires with effort. Rest in them. Know that you already are what you want to be. Know that everything is happening in your favor. Know that the moment you assume it is done, it is done. Time only separates you from the visible proof, not from the truth of its reality. Your only job is to remain in the knowing, to remain in the peace, to remain in the rest. Stop asking how and when. Start being. And being requires nothing more than relaxation. You are not manifesting anything. You are revealing what already is. And what already is perfect. You are the operant power. And your greatest tool is not force. It is ease. Relax and you will manifest anything you desire. It is law. It is truth. It is your birthright. So tonight, go home not with effort in your heart, but with peace. Walk not with worry, but with wonder. Know that the world is your mirror. And when the soul is still, the mirror is clear. You will see yourself as you desire to be. You will see your life transformed, not by action, but by assumption, not by struggle, but by surrender, not by noise, but by the quiet majesty of a relaxed mind. Remember, creation is finished. All you are doing is selecting from the infinite through the power of feeling. So feel now what you wish to feel. Live now as you wish to live. Rest now as though your desire is already real, and I promise you it shall be. The secret is this: when you relax, you align. When you align, you assume. And when you assume, you receive. So relax, and you will manifest anything you desire. When you rise in the morning, carry that inner stillness with you. Don't leap out of bed into the whirlwind of obligations. Remain there for just a few extra moments, and feel the life you wish to. Oh, live as though it were already surrounding you. Imagine it embracing you like the warmth of the sun spilling through your window. You don't need to visualize an entire movie of your dream life. A single scene felt clearly and simply with a relaxed heart impresses the subconscious more powerfully than 1,000 pictures jammed with frantic energy. It is not the volume of your imagination that matters. It is the vibration of it. And that vibration is most pure when it is calm. You see, your true power is not activated in the moment of striving, but in the moment of surrender. The moment you release, the law begins to move. The deeper your rest, the louder your subconscious hears. That's the paradox of all creation. It is accomplished not by doing, but by being. And being cannot arise out of tension. It flowers in tranquility. You must become unbothered before you become unlimited. There is no need to chase the manifestation. That very chasing implies separation. You are never separate, free, from your desire. You are it. You are its source, its essence, its cause. All things are states of consciousness. And your desire is simply a state you must enter, not build, not earn, enter. And the door to that state opens only to the quiet mind, the rested body, the trusting heart. That is why I speak so often of the state akin to sleep. It is not sleep itself, but a doorway to it, a sacred threshold where effort fades and imagination rises. In that twilight, the conscious mind lets go and the subconscious becomes receptive. When you plant your desire in that state, gently like placing a feather upon water, it takes root. It begins to move below the surface, organizing the events, people, circumstances that must align to reflect your inner world. Do not mistake delay for denial. The seed does not sprout the moment you drop it in the soil. But rest assured, if you've dropped it with faith and covered it with stillness, it must bear fruit. Your only work after that is to relax again, and again into the feeling that it is done. Each time doubt whispers, do not argue with it, do not fight. That too is effort. Instead, return to the state. Return to the end and return through relaxation. Like a leaf floating on water, do not resist the current. Flow into the version of you who has already received. There is no power in panic. There is no manifestation in fear. You may build tall dreams with urgency, but they will stand on sand. Build instead from the rock of calm assumption. The moment you say it is mine, let your heart settle. Let your breath slow. Let your imagination rise. That is the true act of creation. Even your body knows this. When you're tense, you close. Your chest tightens. Your breath shortens. Your senses narrow. But when you relax, the body opens. The energy flows. The channels clear. So it is with your mind. In relaxation, you allow inspiration to descend, and you are carried not by will, but by wisdom. Ideas come, solutions arrive. You begin to be led free. ND, every step feels light. I tell you, this is not fantasy. This is law. I have seen the hard become soft, the impossible become inevitable, the unseen become visible simply by the act of surrender. Relaxation is the invisible key that opens all doors, and it is free. It costs nothing but your willingness to release control. So now ask yourself not what more can I do, but what more can I let go of? Let go of the story that says you must hustle. Let go of the voice that insists nothing comes easy. Let go of the belief that manifestation must be earned. The only thing you must do is rest in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. And that rest is an inner state, not an outer posture. There is such majesty in this truth that it humbles the proud and lifts the weary. For the tired soul, for the anxious dreamer, this is a gospel. You do not need to fight for what is already yours. You only need to remember it. You only need to become it in imagination. and that becoming happens most naturally. 3. When you are relaxed. So stop scrolling for the next trick, the next hack, the next ritual. What you seek is already within you. The doorway to every desire stands open, but you must be still enough to see it. You must be soft enough to walk through it. A clenched fist cannot receive, but an open hand, relaxed and willing, receives all things. It is in the relaxed state that you align with the version of you who already has. That version of you isn't trying. That version isn't worry. That version is being. When you relax into that state, when you close your eyes and breathe like the one who already possesses what you desire, you are that version. And once you are, the world reflects it without fail. There is no work greater than this inner work, and there is no tool sharper than stillness. To relax is to access your divinity. To quiet the noise is to hear God. And when you hear God within, when you feel the truth that all is already well, you stop chasing. You stop asking. You know from. 3. On that knowing, everything flows. Opportunities arise. People appear, resources gather. But they do not come because you hustled for them. They come because you became the version of you who they naturally orbit. You relaxed into your true identity and your world caught up. So now whenever your mind rushes, pause, take a breath, smile, say within yourself, it is done. And truly feel what it would feel like to be the one who no longer needs to wait. That tiny relaxed moment is a seed of transformation. That soft breath of faith shifts worlds. You do not need more time. You do not need better conditions. You only need a better state, and that better state is always a more relaxed one. The anxious you creates anxious outcomes, but the calm you lives in miracles. The calm you is magnetic. The calm you is masterful. Do not worry about repetition. You don't need to visualize every hour. You don't need to script every morning. You only need to feel it once truly, purely and free, relaxedly, and then return to life with trust. Live from that place of fulfillment. Speak from that place. Think from that place. Think from that place. And most of all, rest in it. Let others chase. Let them strain. Let them push against the world. But you be still. Be calm. Be relaxed. Because you know you've been taught the truth. You've glimpsed the power. You understand now that effort is the language of the world, but ease is the language of the divine. And when you speak that language, when you relax into your imagination and feel your wish fulfilled, the universe bends to your state, not your strategy. So, my friend, this is the new way. This is the forgotten way. This is the eternal way. It is not new, for it has always been. It is not hard, for it is the most natural. Relax and the door swings open. Relax and the curtain lifts. Relax and your world begins to reflect the masterpiece already painted within. You need only stay faithful to the feeling, not to the appearance of the thing. 3. Ings. For appearances will always tempt you to abandon your rest. The senses will scream that nothing has changed. The world may even seem to mock your stillness, but do not be deceived. The outer always lags behind the inner. And if you stay relaxed, if you remain anchored in the knowing that what you have imagined is already yours, you will see the reflection appear quietly, unmistakably, perfectly. You don't need to check every day whether the manifestation has arrived. That checking is doubt in disguise. That checking is tension. It is the same as planting a seed and digging it up every morning to see if it has grown. Leave it be. Water it with faith. Nourish it with joy and forget it. Live as though it already bloomed. Smile as if the garden has already come into full blossom. That's what it means to trust. That's what it means to live in the end. And what a relief this brings. That you don't have to be clever. That you don't have to strategize. That you don't have to manipulate onions or people. You are not called to be the architect of every detail. You are only called to embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled. And that embodiment, my friend, happens in the absence of effort, in the presence of peace. Peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. It is the power of one who knows that the unseen is more real than the seen. It is the strength of one who does not react to the storm, but walks calmly. Knowing the sun is just behind the clouds, that calm is not weakness. It is authority. It is dominion. It is the inner declaration. It is done. You cannot lie to your subconscious. It receives only what you truly feel. So if you say the words but your body is tight, your heart is racing, your breath is shallow, your message is conflict. But if you speak quietly inwardly and your whole being is soft, your body at ease, your mind clear, your spirit surrendered, then the message is received and the universe responds. Even when you don't know how it will come, even. When the path is hidden, it does not matter. That is not your part to play. Your only part is the assumption. Your only job is to enter the state. And you enter it not with force, but with faith, not with strain, but with surrender. And that surrender is an art. It takes courage to release the illusion of control. It takes trust to relax while the world urges you to panic. But once you taste the results, once you witness the power of ease, once you see how swiftly reality bends to your relaxed assumption, you will never go back to the old way. You will never again sacrifice your peace to gain the world. For now you know the world is born from your peace. Let others compete, let them rush, let them fret. But you will glide, you will move from knowing, you will act only when inspired. And that action will be light, effortless, successful, because it is no longer action born of desperation. It is action born of alignment. This is what the world calls magic, but it is not magic. It is law. The law responds to your state of being, not your words, not your effort, not your rituals, but the silent state you carry within you. Even when you speak not a word, and the most powerful state of all, the one that says I am already, is only accessible when you relax. So what do you truly desire? Is it love, wealth, health, freedom? Begin to ask not how to get it, but how it would feel to already have it. That's your key. That's your portal. And when you ask that question from a relaxed mind and a surrendered heart, the feeling will come to you naturally, like a breeze. And once you feel it, all you need do is remain there. Dwell in it, rest in it. Let the world rearrange itself around the new you. There is a power in patience that the world does not understand. But you who are awakening to the law, you understand. You know that every seed contains its season. That winter does not mean death. It means gestation, and spring is inevitable. So if you've relaxed into your assumption, do not measure by the clock. Measure by the depth of your peace. That peace is the evidence that the work is already done. If anxiety returns, that's all right. Don't fight it. Fighting is more effort. Simply return again to the state gently, lovingly, without self-judgment. Each time you return, the groove deepens. The belief strengthens. The bridge of incidents draws closer. Relaxation is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle, a daily practice, a sacred devotion to the truth that everything you seek is already within. As you dwell in that truth, you will find that your desires begin to change. They become purer, simpler. You will no longer chase things to prove your worth. You will no longer seek out of lack. You will desire from fullness. You will create for joy. You will manifest not to fix anything, but to express the richness of who you are. That is the essence of effortless manifestation. To live in joy now, to feel the pleasure of your imagined state before a single thing changes. And that joy, that divine ease attracts all things to you by law. You become the embodiment of what you desire, and the world must reflect it. Not maybe, not sometimes, always. So continue in stillness. Rest more often in the knowing. Speak less of what you want and more of what you already are. Let your imagination paint the scene, and let your body relax as though it were already true. Because in that moment it is. You do not need to believe the world. You do not need to convince anyone. You only need to feel it for yourself. Let others doubt. Let them worry. That's not your concern. Your only task is to return again and again to the state of the wish fulfilled, and do so with ease. If ever you wonder whether it's working, ask yourself, not has it appeared, but am I relaxed in the knowing? For that relaxation is your signal. That ease is your proof. When you feel that, when your desire no longer feels urgent, when it simply feels natural, that is when the law is already in motion. That is when the unseen has already shifted. That is when your world is already on its way to reflecting the inner you. You'll notice something beautiful begins to happen. People respond to you differently. Opportunities emerge without your chasing them. Doors open with the gentlest touch. You won't need to explain how or why. It just is. The outer begins to mirror the calm, confident, fulfilled inner state, and it feels like life is moving for you, not against you. This is not coincidence, it is consequence. The consequence of finally aligning with the truth that everything flows from within. And within you are at rest. You will start to hear the soft voice of intuition more clearly, because now that the noise of effort and anxiety has faded, you can hear the subtle whisper of guidance, and it always comes. It may come as a nudge, a thought and unexpected invitation, but it always points the way. And when you act from that guidance, it will feel effortless. It will feel right because it isn't. Tea coming from desperation. It's coming from the state of fulfillment. And anything done from that state carries the power of inevitability. There is a rhythm to this universe. It doesn't rush. It doesn't strive. The stars don't strain to shine. The ocean doesn't worry. If the tide will return, it simply does. And when you match that rhythm, when you surrender to that universal flow, you become magnetic, not because you are trying to attract, but because you are no longer pushing away. And that's what tension does. It pushes, but relaxation it receives. This is why those who try too hard often fail. And those who seem lucky are usually the ones who've learned to relax. Their good fortune is not an accident. It's a result of being internally aligned. They expect the best and they relax into that expectation. And the world rises to meet it. This is the secret behind success that few understand. It's not about effort, it's about state. Your state is entirely within your control, not through willpower, but through feeling. You can cultivate any state you choose. You can live from any identity. Right now, this very moment, you can shift not by force, not by trying to fix anything, but by asking the only question that ever matters. How would I feel if it were already true? And then breathe. Let that feeling settle in. Let it soften your body. Let it soothe your thoughts. Let it become familiar. That familiarity is what impresses the subconscious. That familiarity is what makes the desire real. You are not separate from your desire. You are it in seed form. And the soil in which that seed grows is your inner state. Tend to it with gentleness. Water it with rest. Let it bloom without your interference. You'll be amazed at how naturally life brings it forth. If you ever forget, if the old patterns try to pull you back into effort and fear, just close your eyes. Return to your inner sanctuary, that place where all things are already yours. Return to that scene, the one you saw, so vividly in your imagination. Feel it again, not as a wish, but as a memory, and smile. Because what you feel in that relaxed state is not fiction. It is the truth. A truth the world must eventually confirm. In this truth you are never lacking. You are never waiting. You are always being. You are always receiving. You are always manifesting. Even now, even here, even without trying, especially without trying. Because in the stillness the power is released. In the calm the creation is complete. In the silence the voice of God speaks loudest and says, "You are already what you seek." So now, beloved, walk gently through this world, not as one who begs, but as one who already is. Let your breath remind you, slow, steady, certain that everything is unfolding perfectly for you. Let your rest be your declaration of faith. Let your ease be your assumption fulfilled. You do not need to convince the universe. You are the universe imagining, dreaming, expressing through form. When you relax, you signal it is done. And when that signal is true, felt deeply, sincerely, the world has no choice but to obey. So drop the struggle. Drop the need to figure it all out. The moment you rest in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are no longer chasing life. Life is chasing you. Stay still. Stay sure. And remember, it was never about effort. It was always about being.